the important thing, didn't I? Also, this is using Wi-Fi, so the internet quality might be a bit shite. But hello, everyone. Welcome to the Off the Cuff podcast. I forgot to wear my comrade cap.
Yes, you did. Cosmonaut Andropov.
Andropov? Not Antonov. Oh boy. Hang on. I'm gonna pop into the stream here so I can verify it's actually properly clicking.
Clanking.
Clerking. I didn't say clerking. You say clerking.
I said clacking.
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 Quacked. It's working.
It's working.
Beautiful. And then
yes.
we can do this as a chat device. Actually, I can see chat there, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, YouTube capture moments as they appear. No, leave me alone. I have never, to be fair, I've never used my Chromebook before in this way. So this is why the quality is also going to be complete dog shit, by the way.
Exactly.
And actually, the mic might be really fucking bad. In fact, I'm actually looking at what YouTube's saying, and it's saying that we're so quiet.
Yes.
The microphone's so bad.
Bad.
And
it's horrible.
Somehow getting closer didn't help. I don't know how that makes any sense, but wait, no. Okay, sorry, I'm dyslexic. That way. Apparently, got to point that way. There's like the thermostat knob. Okay. It sounded fine to me actually, audio wise.
Yeah,
and I wasn't even full blast on my phone, and it's an older phone. So, to be fair, this should be good quality. Thankfully, at least audio wise. The camera, as you can tell, is absolute horse crap. But it's horse tiniest crap. Little pinhole camera up there. So this is all very awkward setup, obviously, for us because, again, I've never done this on a Chromebook before because I only just got this Chromebook actually quite a while ago. So I was about to say, but it was like 6 months ago or something like that. I finally decided to say, fuck it, I'm going to go for it because I wanted to, have a device I could write on. Yeah. But my long-term goal was, hey, I want to get a good enough Chromebook to where I can actually uninstall Chrome off of it and reinstall Linux. Which at the moment is kind of ironic because that kind of leads us into exactly why we're using a crap quality camera and we're doing a live episode. And we will continue to be for the foreseeable future in whatever way we can. Apparently, you need to get us to 50 subscribers if we're going to be able to live stream off of my phone. Because apparently YouTube has an arbitrary limit to where you have to have 50 subscribers
in order
to be allowed by their guidelines to live stream via a phone.
That makes zero sense.
It doesn't. No, it's super stupid. It's like the first time we tried to do a live episode, but actually on my computer, and which was the special episode we did in March. And like they're like, yeah, you have to wait, an hour.
Exactly. No, better yet, you have to wait a day.
You have to wait 24 hours, in order to do that because you requested to be able to live stream, which is one of the dumbest things in the world.
Exactly.
So, and I'm obviously going to switch to live chat from talk chat. Not that we'll get any viewers live, but you got to keep going.
Apparently, we only have one right now,
and it's this one right here. Ooh. From our own account on my phone, just to verify that. That things are in fact working because sometimes the preview on YouTube lies. And it's like, it's clearly working, and then you find out when you look, and it's like corrupted or something.
Yeah, it's corrupted.
It's horse hockey. But anyway, I'm actually gonna just click out of that now too, so we'll have 0 viewers. Anyway,
Anyway,
this is gonna be like we normally record an episode anyway. So it's only if we get people coming in here chatting with us that we're gonna it's gonna turn into an actual lively kind of a setting. Which obviously I think we both hope will happen, but it probably won't happen realistically. It's all good. Anyway, no, that was the wrong way again, wasn't it? No, it was the right way. I'm trying to. I'm being like my OCD that I rarely have is kicking in. So
exactly.
I want it center.
You want it perfect.
Front and center, bro. But anyway, So yeah, but that Linux reference actually does go directly into what the reason why we're doing it live off of my Chromebook right now. Well, actually, it would have been off of my phone, and the quality, by the way, would be infinitely better if that was the case. But yeah, 50 subscribers apparently is required, so that's really stupid to discover. But on top of that, also, because I switched to Linux on my system, we're going to, for the foreseeable future, have to do live episodes.
Exactly.
Apparently for my Chromebook, in this bad quality. Exactly because of the fact that that I switched to Linux, and it's caused me. It's not been easy. Let's put it that way. There's been a lot of different issues, and so I have to do all sorts of troubleshooting. And apparently, with Linux, the way that you gain back all your control, including fine-tune control over your systems, is that you have to go and you have to learn the terminal code. So basically, I have to learn coding. I have to learn basic coding in programming in order to troubleshoot things and to try to find a fix for my system, and to also install all the correct drivers or troubleshoot why it thinks I haven't installed the correct drivers when literally I have the terminal wide open on my system, and it all confirmed that I installed all the necessary libraries for DaVinci Resolve, which is my editing software I always use, and it denies me that and says that apparently none of them were installed when I tried to open the installer. And it doesn't matter what I do, it just keeps lying about it, saying that they weren't installed when literally the terminal's wide open on the screen too. It's all stupid. I need to figure out also how to get it to recognize my second monitor, because obviously when I'm recording or I'm live streaming, I need to put all my recording settings of the OBS windows. I need to put those over on my second monitor so they're out of the damn way. I can't do that right now because even with the updated drivers, the latest up-to-date drivers for my graphics cards, which by the way are not NVIDIA, for anyone who knows Linux, it is actually AMD, which is supposed to like not have any problems like this at all. It's supposed to be exclusive to NVIDIA, but go figure, I'm having the issue, because of course I would, because I'm a me, and it's tech with me, and this is always how this shit works.
It's tech.
Oh god, I especially hate this side of tech, the whole troubleshooting / programming / coding shit. It is literally something that can make me so fucking like primally enraged.
I don't believe
that I
want
to absolutely eviscerate my systems and all my tech, because it's just one of the most like tedious, time consuming. It just it drives me fucking ballistic. But anyway, I have to suck it up and I have to learn that terminal code anyway. And obviously, I'm going to pace myself because clearly I get overwhelmed by this really quickly. So it's going to be a while for learning that. And then once I learn that, I also have to learn the exact correct commands in the terminal to be able to then
you have to call
to then know exactly what terminal code I need to use to be able to correctly call out the correct protocols or whatever other shit, diagnostics, to be able to diagnose stuff. Long story longer, basically, it's going to be hellacious, and it's going to be for the foreseeable future now that this is going to be the case. We're going to have to do these live streams. So, hey, maybe you can create a bunch of artificial accounts for us, and not just tell your friends, but create a bunch of artificial accounts for us to save yourself, not just ourselves, from having the problem of not being able to give you a proper quality camera and stuff and lighting via the my phone, rather than this pinhole of a camera. Sorry, excuse for a camera on my laptop. And that's also probably a lot better, more dynamic range in the audio as well. Because, good God, bro. But anyway, so that's kind of the gist of that, and that's why we're here doing live episodes right now, and we're going to continue to do live episodes for the foreseeable future. And therefore, we're also going to be doing it. We're going to try for every Thursday now. Every other Thursday now instead of every other Wednesday.
Exactly.
While that is the case, before I can finally get back to that's actually another thing I need to mention, is that I have to sift through currently the open source software, editing software for videos, to find one that actually is conducive and makes sense and is kind of fluid in editing ability and everything and dynamics. I have to do that in order to, of course, edit these episodes, right? And again, I manage 6 different YouTube channels. Obviously, this one, obviously the Clips channel, and then of course my own my 4 own channels. Technically, it's kind of back to 5 for obvious reasons right now. So that's a problem too, and that's going to be also a really time-consuming learning process. And because I have to take some decent time with each of these different programs, and I have to go and bounce between them until I find the one that makes the most sense. Also, until I learn the terminal code enough to then be able to get DaVinci to be willing to fucking install
Exactly.
on my Linux system. And I have Linux Mint, for the record, for anybody that might want to help troubleshoot this issue. Or these set of issues, because there's a lot of them. I actually have a video on my main channel, by the way. Obviously, that's the kernel violin that I released. That is actually the latest video I have on that channel. That is basically kind of live documenting all the fucking problems I was running into and having before it finally allowed me to use the damn thing without crashing, without locking up, or without all these other issues. So I can use it for basic processes right now. But again, everything else I said before is also in play, unfortunately. So it's going to be very time consuming, and I'm already naturally slow at everything I do.
Yeah.
And when it's boring and tedious and I can't stand it, it's going to take that much longer.
Correct.
So that's also kind of a pain in the ass in this regard as well. And then, of course, I want to also make sure I note that there's also a chance that I may actually be forced to uninstall and get rid of the bootloader for installing Linux Mint that I have off of my USB stick, and then get a different distribution of Linux. If I can't, say, solve my monitor issue or whatever, I might have to try a different distribution, and that means completely wiping and reinstalling my OS.
Windows.
All over, no, but in this case now Mint, because I already did that with Windows. Now I have to do Linux Mint for a different Linux. It'll probably be Arch Linux is what I'm going to go to, because somebody on YouTube that I watch a lot, which is Some Ordinary Gamers, aka Mudahar, he's used Arch Linux for a long, long time, and he really fucking likes it, and he pretty much recommends it damn near universally, including for gaming and other things. So, especially with the gaming aspect, I feel like that then the monitor issue probably shouldn't be an issue at all either.
Yeah.
And I could rant about that specific problem to the cows come home, because apparently, AMD develops their graphics cards and always has on Linux. So what gives there?
Exactly.
And then on top of that, not only that, but then most Linux distributions have been long-standing developed on AMD graphics cards and processors. Yeah. So that says that they have this partnership, and they have for a very, very long time, literally like decades. And yet, for some stupid reason, it just doesn't recognize my monitors plugged in. It's like a monitor's plugged in. It's also plugged into the exact same graphics card. And again, when I was on Windows that night before that video was recorded, it was perfectly fine. Your Windows automatically recognized, like, hey, you have 2 monitors. Here you go. Never had any issues. Never had to troubleshoot anything. But yet, with everything I just said about Linux and AMD, now that makes it even more inexplicable and irritating and infuriating for me, because it makes even less sense as to why that would be a thing that would be causing issues. So anyway,
bullshit.
That's all I'm dealing with. So, and because I'm the sole editor, and because I'm the sole content manager for this channel, for the Clips channel, and for my own 4 channels, so 6 total channels, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, and pretty much damned at the moment. So that's how that's looking, not just for this channel, but for a lot of other, literally all my content channels right now. It's going to kind of stuck in a log jam, and I hate it so much. But I'm forced to fucking stick a dick in it, as the Aussies would say, and deal with it. Also, by the way, I know you're going to probably say, my buddy Sage knows Lennon. He's willing to help.
No.
It's going to be like, well, I already actually apparently, the transit TriMet group I have on Twitter, apparently one of the guys in that group, Jason McCuff, who runs the TriMet scanner pages and stuff, actually, and on TriMet alerts on Twitter, he actually is apparently a very well-known Linux expert. So Al, who's the main guy of our group,
Well,
he told me that he's going to reach out to him.
That's
on
not what I
podcast,
was going to point out.
Okay.
What I was going to point out was that I'm on my way to getting Black Magic software.
Yeah, I thought you already got DaVinci.
I'm all right. It's my computer system is very, very difficult, essentially.
Either that or you're just that inept.
I am inept. I admit it.
You just think that's the case. Although then again, you have one of those old all-in-one PCs. So,
exactly.
I mean, to be fair, there is a chance that it's actually just also antiquated enough that it's going to have a hard time with it.
Exactly.
Or really, therefore, any editing, and processing, and rendering. But
well, the fact is that what I'm considering is that eventually, when I get it up and going,
yeah,
eventually, maybe we can actually have it to where we edit over at my house.
Yeah, we could do that. I thought about that too. It'd be kind of dumb, but
it would be dumb, but
in a weird roundabout way. But it would be a temporary thing, obviously.
It would be a temp fix.
Yeah, which isn't a bad idea. So it's all the more incentive for you to get the ball rolling on
exactly on my end.
Out, yeah. Because then that's cool. I also did have a thought about with these episodes specifically, since they are podcasts.
Yeah.
Of just, I mean, the quality of the audio is going to go down.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, actually, because there's no noise canceling on like your lapel mic or the
Yeah.
phone mics or whatever. But I thought about temporarily just saying fuck it to the second or third audio tracks, which his would be the second audio track, the lapel mic, and just going through with the phone mic.
Yeah.
And that actually, yeah, and the third track is obviously my own audio. I record all my big producer's dildo. That I usually use with my main system, obviously, until I switch to Linux.
Yes.
So actually, I could be recording on OBS the audio for that, but then that still requires editing, and therefore it would, you know what I mean? It still doesn't solve this problem. So, but yeah, so it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But I thought about that. I don't like the idea of the degraded quality, but then again, look at what we're dealing with right now.
Exactly.
And obviously, realistically, to hope that we get 50 subscribers within the next, like, say, month is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Nothing's impossible. However, it's like a 0.01% chance that'll happen.
No kidding.
In a month, it'll go from 13 to 50. But yeah, so you have to find other solutions that are more realistic, obviously.
Well, no kidding.
It's kind of, again, difficult to do that. But anyway, we spent 18 minutes talking about this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab my water really quick. There we go. And let's actually do a proper start to this episode, especially considering later, when we do figure it out, I can actually download this and then edit it anyway. So, and this will be the actual short of an epiload.
Epiload.
I'm going to drink my water first, too.
Antonov.
Hello, my name is Comrade Antonov Yakovlev. This is Comrade Cosmonaut. Legend says that Comrade Cosmonaut over here made it to space before the first Sputnik satellite ever to be launched into space.
Yes.
He not only is this the case, but legend says that he was the first human and human-created device ever sent directly into outer space beyond our ionosphere before World War II.
Before World War II.
In 1928. That is Comrade. Comrade Cosmonaut. And we are your hosts, I should be saying, today, and we are very, very happy to have you with us for this episode of Off the Cuff.
Better yet,
a communist podcast. No.
where are your nuclear vessels in Alameda? The voyage home.
Get to the vessels. The vessels. Yeah.
The nuclear vessels in.
You see, in Ruski, we in Russia we have a tradition, and contrary to popular belief, though we do beat our wives consistently every day, at least 5 times per day, to take out our important rage for our situation economically as a nation. It's part of our national pride. But what we do is in foreign processes to build friendships. You see, we build these big beautiful vessels of war known as missiles, and,
Wow.
and we send them to random people's houses in places like USA in China, and you get the picture. But not only that, we ferment potato, and we turn into 100% liquor vodka. And we send that to other nations as well. This is the Russian way. It is true. What are you looking at?
Yeah, really.
So stupid. I always have fun just improvising stupid bullshit like that, as you can't tell. But anyway, the slouch duo over here, it's tilt. Or even more, actually, no. That actually fixed slight overexposure, except for me, because I'm closer to the window and the plant light, so I'm just like blown the fuck out. I could play a vampire.
Exactly.
Look, a UFO. All right, so what should we? Do you have anything you want to talk about today in particular for this episode?
Huh.
Have you anything recently piqued your interest and thought, oh, we should talk about that?
No.
Truly off the cuff, folks.
Exactly.
You heard it here first. We have value to bring to the world. Oh God. The problem is I've thought about like various different things that have happened recently, but like each of those topics, either they're like potentially too like emotively upending, especially considering your religious faith and your relationships you have because of it. And then also that, or again, you have the other aspect, which is like something that is completely, you would think, irrelevant to this podcast, which is going to be something relating to sports or something. And that just seems like really stupid too. And so it's just like, well, now what? I also thought about it earlier. I'm like, well, we could continue that topic we talked about in one episode that hasn't even released yet, but it was like, I think our 3rd episode we actually did record. Or was somewhere between our 3rd or 5th that we actually truly recorded, because they started going out of order of recording recently over the last, I think, 3 episodes. Yeah. But it was the 3rd, 4th, or 5th episode we recorded. Remember, you wanted to talk about Markiplier? And so we did that and a few other YouTube related things. I thought we could continue to talk about like some of our favorite YouTubers or YouTube video memories or whatever else. It just seems like a kind of a weird topic swap from the last episode, especially. It's like very kind of serious or potentially considered contentious too. All of a sudden, he's like, yeah, so anyway, YouTubers.
Yes, YouTubers.
But it shows diversity, I guess, in a weird way.
Exactly.
But we could talk about that. We could talk about, I don't know, bulldozers.
Bulldozers.
I was just throw it out there because in other words, I have nothing to say about bulldozers. They exist. That's about right. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
See, normally we don't have this much trouble when we're actually truly being off the cuff with an episode.
Exactly.
We literally, every single time so far, we've just immediately gone into a topic and it's just carried itself.
Yeah.
Without issue. Apparently today, we're just at a loss.
Just at a loss.
Oh,
so
God.
what the heck? The fact is that, all right, when it comes to Markiplier, though, I'm actually amazed by his success recently.
Yeah, they're obviously he's been super successful, but
Well, no kidding.
I can't even exactly remember. I want to like make a reference to things that we brought up in that episode.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember exactly what, like every point we made. Like there's one in particular I was going to say though is the difference between him and, remember the point I made?
Yeah.
The difference between him and Shaun, so Jacksepticeye. Because they both have very similar interests. They both kind of came up around the same time. They both, have always been friends because of it, via technically I think PewDiePie, at least partially because, again, Shaun, right? He came up through him.
Specifically, we were talking about him, that he changed as a result of the woman in his life.
I know that. Yeah, we did do that. But that's not what I was referring to. I was trying to think about, because you were talking about success recently.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that success has really been Iron Lung and its release and how successful it had been. And that's the kind of the platform that's given him to be able to go into these different podcasts or platforms and talk at length and in detail about how it isn't even a conspiracy. It's literally clear that like the industry despises with a passion anybody and they want to crush anybody who's succeeding, who's independent. They do not like the idea of not owning and monopolizing every single fucking IP. Agreed. And so him being in there and being the number one movie for a while in theaters was just not going to fly for them. And that's why they removed him off of the listings for top grossing movies in theaters and all these other things, even though it was very much that was the case. But also, he clearly showed that he had plenty of money even before he became big.
Yeah.
That just aided how much more money he had. So he already had kind of a certain status economically. Yeah. Because he could, travel to South Carolina as much as he wanted to. He could visit Bob and Wade. He could travel to, LA for not just conventions, but to collab with the various people. He could travel like basically whenever he wanted to. He could travel wherever. Some of the gaming conventions, out there in like, Britain, wherever else, right? That's in Europe. It's across the fucking ocean, and he's able to easily do that whenever, And obviously his gear, right? His gaming equipment has always been peak high end, since the very beginning. And it's very clear that's the case. Outside of obviously his recording equipment, but that's why I said gaming equipment. So his PC and everything else has been really top notch. It's just that his recording equipment at the start was like anybody else.
Yeah.
But that's a key point to me though, because Shaun literally had kind of the opposite. Like he didn't have that much money at all, and the only time he really got any kind of money and was able to get out of the cabin, that he lived in, that was next door to his parents' cabin out there in middle of nowhere Ireland, was because of him winning, I think, a contest or something like that, content creator contests of PewDiePie's at the time.
Oh.
And so it was via PewDiePie that he ended up getting his first recognition, and he really started to explode and grow. Was through that, of course, because it's mutual advertising basically. So he benefited from that a lot, and that's when pretty quickly thereafter he grew rapidly enough that he was able to move out and then get his own place. And then he actually had moved like 2 different other times, I think, after that, pretty consistently, because he moved into an actual apartment, I think in like Dublin or something like that, and then eventually he moved to a bigger place, his own place.
Well, dude.
But my point is that like he did that, and that's cool and all, but like the whole another key point is that I remember I made now, and this is really the kind of the foundational piece to it, why I wanted to bring that part up, and I wanted to remember it, and I do remember it now, is that again it's the relationships, right? Shaun's been with Gabby, I think it's the name, right? For whoever his girl is. I swear her name is Gabby. But I might be remembering wrong. But anyway, his gal, right? His corazon.
Corazon.
He's been with her longer than Mark had been with Amy. And this whole time he's been with her. And, again, same interests, kind of same involvement. The difference is that Mark's been independent with most of his work, and Shaun has been working with Hollywood pretty much for the most part, and with big gaming studios. But again, like he's been with his girl for like a few years longer than Mark's been with Amy, And despite that, all the way to now, he's the same person. He's the same personality. Like, everything's been the same and consistent. But Mark, on the other hand, just like once he was fully with Amy, he flipped. He completely became like a different personality, a different person. And that's always kind of disappointed and kind of irritated me a little bit, because it's like, what even is the basis for that? You know what I mean? Like, because they're so comparable. They've been longtime friends too since their starts, and yet they're so different in that way. And it's just bizarre. Because remember, like, again, like, but that's my whole point. Why that's so significant to me is because, again, most people, they want to excuse, like you have brought up, right? Most of the time, whenever I brought that up, you're like, well, it's probably because of the fact that, again, usually when a guy finally gets a relationship and a woman, it kind of, especially after they have their first sex, it subdues them a lot. You know, it really brings them back down to earth a lot in their personality, their energy, or whatever. It makes them a lot calmer. And it's like, you know what? But then that didn't happen with Shaun.
No, dude, I'm going to tell you this now. Actually, ixnay my advice. Ixnay it.
Yeah.
That is total bullshit.
But yeah, that's why I always point that out, right? Because it proves that's not so. In this situation.
Dude,
at least it proves it's likely to be not so in this situation.
Dude, no, there's more to it than just that, okay? And there's one thing that I've grown to realize in my in my what was it called? In my growth, in my transition and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I tend to do is I tend to create content for men's what is it called, advice and stuff like that.
Advice.
Yeah, advice. And on my patriarchal system channel. Mm-hmm. Anyways, the fact is that when you're a certain kind of individual,
okay,
and I'm talking quote unquote simp.
Yeah.
Do you know what simp is?
Yes, I've had to look it up years ago, but I know what it means. Yes.
Well, basically, a very strong male personality will not get subdued. In fact, it will further enhance their personality. Even
right.
more.
No, but that I wouldn't even say that's male specific. That's universal.
Oh yeah, it's universal.
Because, like, again, that's whether you want to look at it spiritually or not. Like, it's literally that's true for a healthy relationship. Is that
exactly
once two people that are really good together and they really do click are together, they literally further enhance and like amplify each other's personal expression and their personalities. It's not even like something they sit down and they talk about or something like that. You know, it's like it's straight up just I guess just mutual respect that you don't even have to mention once. It's not even a thought to the person. It just that's how it works. And so like that is a very universal thing. Like I get like customizing it depending on the gender, because obviously again, you know, everyone's unique, everyone's different, including biologically, and you know, men are very different than women. But we also have plenty to contribute to each other.
Yeah, especially
in a relationship. Let alone a team building environment, whatever else.
Hell, there's even pair bonding.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's actually kind of funny because recently on Threads, I was getting dunked on, as they probably perceive it as, by all these, you know, more extremist feminists on there.
Sandras.
Because apparently Supergirl is a movie that's releasing right now and is in theaters freshly. And again, I don't pay any attention to pop culture. So like because pop culture is a fucking waste of my time. Like it's completely boring and irrelevant.
Stupid, man.
But so like I literally, if you bring up a random celebrity, like whoever they cast in this case for that role, I have absolutely no concept of who the fuck that even is.
Yeah.
I've never heard of or seen or read their name anywhere before, until in this case for me, the person cast as Supergirl last night on Threads. And I see like this name, I'm like, I have no concept of who the fuck that is. Apparently it's some celebrity, an actress who's been acting in like Game of Thrones and other shit like that. So like she's been around for a while.
Dude,
but like I have no concept of who this fucking person is, but okay.
Dude,
and so, like,
I don't really give a shit about that movie.
Yeah.
Really.
But like so the whole point is that like those threads, right? That was started because some guy who was in line waiting to go in to see the movie.
Yeah.
It was like him and like apparently according to him was like 3 other guys.
Yeah.
Were in the line. And it's a long line for the movie, but it was only 3 guys, 3 dudes, 3 men. And everyone else was a woman, of course. And so most of them were younger women. And so there's all these like 20-something women around and behind him too. And so they ended up basically trying to ask him kind of, you could tell, kind of like predatory questions in the sense of like trying to see if he gives them the correct answer or not, to see if they can approve of him or not. And so basically that's how it started. And we end up having this case in point of where later on down in the thread, he said that, most men apparently are boycotting it because they say it's a woke movie or whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And then he eventually gets to this point way later in his threads, and he says it's because of whoever they cast as Supergirl, specifically. Like, that's the person that they're boycotting the movie for because it's, I don't know, whatever. And so, I'm like sitting here like, again, I almost wish I had a little bit of concept of who that was and what's going and like what the movie is about, like how it works, because I feel like I would probably sit somewhere in between the two, because I'm like, Superwoman, I don't know why they're calling it Supergirl. Superwoman has been a character for well over 70 years in the DC universe.
Yeah.
It's the counterpart to Superman. Like, it's
correct.
This is not like some woke thing and DEI thing of like, oh, look, it's a strong female lead character, who can compare and is equal to Superman. And who cares if that's the fucking case anyway, right? Like, that can be still fine and really fun and good anyway. Like, as long as it's great writing and good story and character building and arcs, right? Nothing else should really fucking matter unless, again, you are loading it with DEI stuff.
Okay, man, a question that comes to mind. What happened to why can't people just dislike it because they dislike it? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. No, I know.
That's a good question.
Also, why can't they just give it a fucking chance?
Well, no shit.
I can understand it again if it's been made through the ads and everything very fucking clear that like there is very specific messaging in it. You know what I mean? Like, and like very specific tropes and roles that may not have integrity to the original, in this case, comics. That I totally get. But then at that point, yeah, fucking boycott if you want to, because that's fucking bullshit. That's stupid. Like, see, again, you speak, put your money where your mouth is, right?
Yeah.
Like, that shows that you're not willing to support it, because it's like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, I'm not giving you my fucking money for this bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not going to give my money for bullshit.
But at the same time, it makes me think of how I reacted to when I saw that they were casting Jody Whittaker to be the 13th Doctor in Doctor Who. Because most guys were getting upset about it. Like, this is a DEI hire, plain and simple. This is fucking stupid. She's like this, like basically suggesting, most of them indirectly, like that women can't be the Doctor because that doesn't, like, that's stupid. It's always been a male role. I'm like, sure, it's always been a male role. It doesn't mean that a woman can't be the Doctor. There's never been anything in the entire history of Doctor Who that said it can't be a fucking woman who can become the Doctor. Reskin basically. Fucking stupid. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm like hopeful, I'm high on hopium about it. I'm like, this is actually kind of cool. I kind of like this. It's kind of exciting. Like, I'm going to give her a fair shot. You know what I mean? What I didn't know until I watched like the first episode or two is that apparently Chibnall, the writer at the time, the producer at the time, lead producer for Doctor Who, that was brought on with her, like, he has this whole history. You can even watch it on YouTube. Like, he has this whole history where he just slanders the fuck out of Doctor Who since he was like a kid, as a supposed fan of the series.
What?
And so, like, he doesn't, like, you could just tell, like, oh, he's going to be a fucking terrible writer if you actually knew about that. I didn't know about it until after the first episode, and I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, that was fucking shit. And I'm like stunned. And my brother Mario then brings that up, his history. And I'm like, that fucking checks out, you know? And then also finding out that Jody Whittaker was not a fan of Doctor Who and had never watched Doctor Who, and she didn't have the requirement that every single other casting system, casting director for Doctor Who, for all the other doctors that have ever played the Doctor in Doctor Who's history, were required to do, which is that they not only had to be a fan, and they had to pass a test of like knowledge about the series and its history and everything, right? But they also had to watch, like the full series or the full seasons with entire doctors. Like they had to watch.
Wow.
In the casting set, they were brought in for days straight, so they could for days straight just spend the whole day watching Doctor Who. To really make sure that they're fully engrossed in that, like the character before they're fully given the casting ability, the ability to then give their audition to do the full cast, right? Because they want to make sure you're truly dedicated, you're truly a fan, you truly have knowledge and understanding about what it takes to be the Doctor. That's great. But with Jodie Whittaker, they didn't require her to do that.
Ooh.
Instead, it was because she got vouched for by David Tennant, who he's been a co-actor with her in, like, I think it's Torchwood.
Yeah.
And then, that's one of the other series that he was in at the time. He was co-star with her. And then also, she was really good friends with Matt Smith, who played the 11th Doctor after David Tennant. And those are literally like the two favorites of the modern generation of Whovians, right? Like those are it's either you're a diehard David Tennant bromance fan, or it's your bromance, or it's Matt Smith.
Exactly.
Basically, it's pretty divided. It's pretty 50-50 between those two. I personally, if I had to choose between the modern generations of Doctors, bromance all the way with David Tennant. It's my bromance. And then I'd probably put Christopher Eccleston as the 9th Doctor, actually, second place. And then I put the 12th Doctor and Peter Capaldi third place, and then I put Matt Smith. And that's not like a big gap between each of them. It's not a knock on any of them. They're all great doctors, I think. And Christopher Eccleston did not get enough of a chance, but it's because he had to bow out after the first season. Because he just morally and ethically, he couldn't bear gritting his teeth through more seasons than just the one, because of how badly apparently the BBC studio staff were treating the extras and the background actors. And it just pissed him off so much. And he's just like, I'm fucking done. Like, I'm not going to continue this, because this is just not okay,
But this is bullshit.
He just like ranted about it a bit afterward. He's getting a little bit of a sidetrack. The point is that, again, I didn't know that ahead of time about Chibnall. And so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know that about also the casting decision with Jodie. Like, she was just brought in because she's a darling, basically. And it's without any experience or watching Doctor Who. She literally didn't watch Doctor Who before she became the Doctor. Like, what? And so it's like, no wonder she was dog shit, and she was made so much worse as a Doctor because of the decisions of Chin Balls. And I've always called Chibnall Chin Balls, because fuck that dude. Fucking Chin Balls, dude. Oh my god, he was bad. He was so bad. And they pulled in, and like all the episodes, they pulled in, except for one, I think, they pulled in all this modern sociopolitical posturing and PC shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, this is fucking stupid, because you're even ruining it for the companions. Because you know how there's always like one, maybe two companions?
Yeah.
But in this case, they had 3 companions. Because they had Bradley Walsh, who played one of them, who was by far the best companion. In fact, actually, pretty much universally, if you've seen that series, everybody agrees that he was by far the best character, an actor in the entire time that Jodie Whittaker was the Doctor. And nobody was even fucking came close. Tosin Gill played the black guy, the token black guy, for the DEI points, and he was fucking useless as a character. And then obviously also you had, I can't remember, was it Mandeep Gill? Yeah. Why did I remember all their names suddenly? That's so weird. That doesn't even make any sense. Why is my brain like that? That doesn't make any sense. I have no reason to remember all 3 actors' names.
Well, you do now!
Mandeep Gill, yeah. She played the token Indian companion.
The token Indian.
And she was between Bradley Walsh and Toast and Gil's companion characters in terms of like usefulness and like quality. But like she still sucked like as a character. She was still mostly useless. And actually, since I'm already kind of off on the side tangent, even though I was just trying to give a simple example, and of course here I am with my brain running away with correlatives. Running away with correlatives that are semi-related. So at this point, fuck it, I'll go all in with another correlation to the topic at hand. So it still is technically on topic, but barely. It's like attached. It's related, but it's not actually literally on topic. Is that, and this is actually one of my biggest irritations and like issues I had with the Jody Whittaker era of Doctor Who, is the fact that, again, this is supposed to be a case of DEI stuff, right? So they brought her in as well because they wanted to inspire a new generation of women and girls, when they're young, obviously, to be like, hey, you can be the Doctor too, you can be a strong fucking lead character and save the fucking universe from all these weird, cool, ridiculously, stupidly campy alien creatures, like the Ook and everything else. But which is why it's such a delightful series, right? But the thing is that they made her character so fucking brain dead stupid. And actually weak. She was not a strong fucking lead character. She was incredibly weak to where they actually made her so dumb and so incapable sometimes that literally it's like, how is she A, the Doctor, and B, how in the fuck is it even rationalized in your heads at BBC, the big black cock, that somehow, some way, she now needs to lean into her 3 supporting characters, her companions, to do a lot of the work for her because she's so incapable, because she's so weak and she's so stupid.
And yet somehow she's supposed to be a
strong, independent
lead
character. Yeah, and it's like they literally could not have fucking gone more backwards and inside out with that too, in that character development, because she was literally just such a uselessly weak, incapable character and Doctor. Like, it's actually a masterclass in exactly what you never do when you're a fucking showrunner, a producer, a writer, a director, a casting director. Like, if you're any of those positions, you look at that as a masterclass in what to avoid at all costs.
What to avoid.
What is literally the worst thing you can do, and why it ended up that way, because of how bad the writing and production was of chin balls. And the rest of the fucking
the way you put it.
And the rest of the big black cock producers and showrunners. So it's also fucking stupid.
I watched this movie called Private Parts. You know what your perspective on calling him that is? It reminds me of this producer. We're gonna call him Pig Vomit. Pig Vomit.
Chin balls and useless hack. There's no experience.
Useless hack.
There's no experience with the show. There's like 1 or 2 okay episodes that were made during her era, but like literally collectively, any Whovians that have a shred of integrity and actually truly are fans and love the series historically, these are the people who are the ones who literally pretend, and well, they don't even pretend, they literally boycott her existence as a 13th Doctor. So literally she is not the 13th Doctor. There has not been a 13th Doctor yet, because apparently even the current guy, I can't remember the black guy's name, but he's now the Doctor, and like, again, like the writing is weirdly like they keep leaning into these weird nonsensical musicals and musical scenes and like other weird stuff like that, like Broadway-ish stuff, and it's like, what are we doing? Like what? And it's just like, what's happening? So most people are just disillusioned with it again, and they're like, yeah, Jody Whittaker and Chinball's era told us that this show needs to die again. and it needs to die for another like decade or more again before it gets rebooted, because this has happened kind of, not this exact kind of shit, right? Bullshit, but this has happened before many a time. Sorry. It's happened once before in the history, or is it twice before? Is it once or twice before it's happened in the history of Doctor Who, where they had to kill the fucking franchise, or not the franchise, but the series, and they killed it for like over a decade straight, and then finally gets rebooted again, and then it starts really fucking quality and great, and it's like it's integral to its history and everything else, and everybody loves it, and then pretty quickly it starts to degrade and fall apart, and then it tries to cling to life way too fucking long before they put it back to bed again, permanent, for another decade plus for a hard reset. But that's what that generation proved with the 13th Doctor and Jody Whittaker and Chin Balls. But then the current guy, and even Stephen Moffat, who, honestly, I like Stephen Moffat, or Moffat, however you want to say that. I like him when he was writing and directing some of the episodes for David Tennant, actually. Because, you always have your main producer and writer and director, right, for Doctor Who. And then you have your little sub team, right, that they have, and whoever the associate is, they'll bring them in for at least 8 episodes per season to write, direct, and lead and produce, right, and they'll take over for that person for that episode, and it's a great practice session, a way to prove a point, proving ground for these guys, especially if they're younger and they haven't had an opportunity like that before. So it's great in that sense, right? But a lot of people, I love to remind people that Stephen Moffat was the one behind the most iconic David Tennant episode, which is Don't Look, Don't Blink, because of the fact that that's the Weeping Angels episode, and that's where the whole timey wimey wibbly wobbly stuff describing time came from, is literally that episode. Is the Weeping Angels episode, aka Don't Blink. That's a Stephen Moffat episode. I know his name starts with an R. I don't remember his fucking name right now. Who was actually the lead producer and writer and director for Doctor Who during the David Tennant years. But Stephen Moffat was the guy who came up with that one. And so the most iconic episode of the current generation Doctor Who was Moffat. So it's fucking incredible and amazing to note that. And it's like, this dude, there's a few other episodes of his that he took over for in seasons with David Tennant, because he has 4 seasons, 4 years there. And that Stephen Moffat took the lead on, and it may not be necessarily as iconic or like as remembered as, of course, the Don't Blink episode, the Weeping Angels episode, but they're still really good. And I really loved how he did it. But currently, that's the thing, right? This is why I mentioned that, is Stephen Moffat came back as the lead writer, producer, director of Doctor Who with this current Doctor, this Black Doctor. And I wasn't actually, no, sorry. I think it was the other guy. I think it was the one that led David Tennant's era, actually. Which I think he brought Moffat in with him, if I recall correctly. Again, as his associate, director, writer, producer.
I don't know.
But it's the other guy, though. Which, again, I know his name starts with an R. I'm not remembering it right now, and it hurts me to say, because I want to be able to, be taken seriously enough that, like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. No, he obviously doesn't, because he can't remember the fucking name. It's like, I'm just really bad at remembering names. Especially in pop culture, so it's difficult for me. And I'm not going to claim or pretend I'm a diehard Whovian. I'm not. I'm a very casual Whovian. But, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, I get that, but, like, it's... whatever's happening since Jody Whittaker and Chin Balls is ridiculous, because, like, this current one is also shit, too. And so I think it's literally just at this point now where I think anybody who's invested enough in being a Whovian knows that we're clearly at that point where it needs to get the axe for a decade or so in dormancy before it gets brought back and rebooted again, because we're clearly at that point, which has happened one or two other times. I think it's 2 times in history before with Doctor Who. So you gotta fucking axe it again. We're at that point. Anyway, so all that to say, to make the point that like I am the kind of person who gives the benefit of the doubt, you know. Because I hate the woke stuff. I hate the DI stuff a lot with a passion. It's fucking bullshit. It makes everything complete dog shit and uninteresting and uninvolving. And it's just patronizing and it's just sucking up and it's just in the worst way possible.
Exactly.
And it's all fucking stupid. And it doesn't actually instill anything positive, healthy, or good. It instills very toxic traits into people, especially future generations. It's like, this is not the example you should be setting. Like, if you really want equality and all these other things, you damn well need to have completely different people. You go about it in a very common sense, rational way, not an emotive, attack-oriented, reactive, jingoistic way like you do it now. It's just and very targeted and that's prejudice extreme. It's very stupid.
It is stupid.
So, but like I said, you give the benefit of the doubt. So, like, because of that, and then again, re-acknowledging and referencing again that I know that like Superwoman, not girl, Superwoman has been a character for well over 70 years in the DC universe, and she's the direct counterpart, and literal equal to Superman. So no, it's not woke. It's stupid in that sense. But it's I also, again, I do wish that I would have enough context to be able to speak on, like, if in the ads it does seem like they did insert a lot of the DEI woke token words and phrases and peak characters and shit, and therefore wouldn't be integral or have integrity to the original source.
In a way, it sort of did. I mean, basically, one of the things that he did in Supergirl, the series and stuff.
Yeah, I remember. It wasn't like late 2000s with Supergirl.
Yeah, late 2000s.
Yeah, I swear I remembered that was the thing then. Yeah, because that's also when you had the Super 8 and
exactly.
What was it called? Something Sense. What was it called? Super 8. It was called Sense 8, and I think it was called Super 6 is what it was, or something like that. Something 6. And those were like all kind of the same general idea of like superhero adjacent, if not actually related shows, and they were all popular around the same time.
Well, basically, in the show itself, one of the things that they did was they incorporated a whole lot of stuff that was political in nature and stuff like that.
Right.
Like one of the superheroes was technically born a male, essentially, and became a transgendered into a female.
Yeah.
And basically couldn't be, quote unquote, that superhero without being a literal woman. And then when they became that,
so they decided in the storyline it would be basically they include hermaphrodism, being a hermaphrodite, and
correct,
the power of a superhero. So like the only way they could become the superhero that they were is if they performed becoming a hermaphrodite.
In a manner of speaking, yeah.
What?
Yes.
What are they, a frog? Like, what? That doesn't even make any. That's one of the dumbest concepts. Okay, like they thought shape-shifting. No,
not shape-shifting.
Yeah, that's not enough.
That's not enough.
Hermaphrodism. That's what we want. Sorry, they were ahead of the curve of the DEI push, weren't they? Jesus.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Another one was
well, I want to look into the history of the DC comics and see if there was a character for like decades upon decades that did have that kind of a weird thing. It would be
very interesting.
If it did exist and it's historic, which is really weird, especially the United States, right? Because like that would not be an accepted character up until maybe 1980.
Exactly.
Like, so if it was older than that, that would be a dangerous character for the success of DC.
Exactly.
If they had that in reality. So I doubt they do. But if they do, then I'll give the nod to it and be like, okay, well then that sounds like that's that is still maintaining integrity to the character base that they're using. But
Exactly.
kind of stupid, but okay. You know, like, cool. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, it just seems it's a little bit out there, essentially.
Right. You're not wrong.
What was it called? They had another character called Brain in there. Very interesting character. I'll just say that.
Yeah, obviously there. You're actually using the politically correct terminology.
No.
He is a. Oh no, you're talking about the other characters.
Yeah, the other
Sorry,
character.
yeah, my brain. My brain was having. Right, you're right. Yeah, my brain is having latency issues. Was what it's doing. It
Yeah,
heard that and understood
characters,
that,
yeah.
but then my brain's like, because I'm trying to do something else. It's like, kind of there and also prior. But what I'm doing is I'm going back and I'm gonna again take a look and a listen to the live stream again. So let's keep talking a little bit. Yeah, no, it seems fine.
Yeah.
Let's keep talking. Yeah, no, it seems fine. Why is there an echo in that?
Because the phone.
Well, no, yeah, you would think so, but that doesn't really make any sense either. Because that should mean because there's no audio playing here. You see what I'm saying? That would make the echo make sense. Just simply listening to the live stream itself, there shouldn't have been an echo. Right? Unless... Did my brain really do that? Did it matrix me saying that and then hearing it?
I think so.
I've never had that happen before. Anyway, okay, sure. I'm going to pretend that one viewer that's going to stay for the rest of the stream is not our own podcast channel.
Yeah.
So that I can keep checking in every so often. You heard nothing?
Yeah, you heard nothing. You see nothing. Hogan's hero.
It's not real.
It doesn't.
You're not real.
No.
Anyway, yeah. What was I gonna say? What was my point before that came in? Yeah. So like, I guess I'll look into it and I'll research it because I want to be informed on that and see like.
Well, no kidding.
Because I'm always curious about those kind of reactions, and I'm like, sometimes it really isn't woke or it isn't like DEI, and I just think it is because like it does check some of the boxes, but it's like, but is it really or no? Like that's why in that thread in my response I brought up the gal, the actress I don't remember the name of course, which is the one who did the Snow White thing.
Yeah,
I never remember her name. It's probably a good thing. I just remember her fucking face and just how like over the top feminazi she is, and like, yeah, toxic as fuck. I mean, when you get fellow celebrities literally telling you, like, dude, you are way out of line for making political posturing like that, such political posturing, you know you're fucking out. Like, you are truly extreme because, like, Hollywood always fucking postures like that.
Exactly.
They always make sure their personas do that. So, wasn't her name like Jenna something? I can't fucking remember.
I don't know.
Anyway, that fucking bitch.
Yeah, that
See,
bitch.
I never fucking use the term bitch. My brother Mario, who's way more left than I am, and all about the trans stuff and everything else, he uses bitch all the time for like these kinds of women that he do. I literally never use it. This is, I think, the first time in my life I've used it that way so casually. Because I've never, or that, you know, because I've never, that wasn't even a thought process that just came out as was. Because, yeah, that's what I think of her. Like, she's a fucking jackwad. She's a fucking stuck-up bitch. And she's proven it. Like, you don't need to experience arrogant dicks like her almost at all speaking to immediately be able to detect them. But once they open their mouth, they make it so obvious. And it's like, oh my God. Because remember, she actually exerted full fucking dictatorial control over that fucking, the writing and the casting and everything in that movie, that remake, that live action remake, which itself shouldn't have fucking existed in the first place. Oh, but Disney's doing Disney things, you know, like.
Oh, sort of like my HOA Karens in my videos.
I guess so, yeah. But yeah, like, he says my videos, he means the videos he's watching.
Yes, the videos I'm watching.
Because they're not actually his videos.
Yet they're not actually my videos.
At least not yet. He might.
No.
Knowing him, he might actually. He might not say no, absolutely not. But I think in the future, you might actually decide, "Fuck it, I'm going to make videos reacting to them." I could totally see you being the one to do that. And be like, does your own Levi Nicks to use somebody that you love to watch, and I actually kind of loathe watching.
No. So man. These are AI generated.
Oh,
stuff.
That's right. You told me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Obviously, I'm sure not all of them.
A good majority of them
Probably
are actually.
Yeah. Sadly. He threw me off my groove. I have to throw you off the cliff now because you threw the.
How dare you!
You threw the emperor off his groove.
Sorry.
Good old emperor's new groove. Very good, Croak. Go get the snack. I love that movie. I feel like now I should just make Snow Dogs references. how just pure disdain and contempt that fucking Snow Dogs ever being referenced at all ever always causes everyone. I'm just like, you probably haven't even fucking watched it. Then it's just that's why I say it's the Nickelback of movies. Like it really is. Everybody just hates it because it's popular to hate it. But I guarantee most people never actually saw it in their life. And if they did, they actually, without that bias and give it an honest chance, I bet they actually would like it.
I like Nickelback, actually.
Yeah, well, I'm also...
And I'm a diehard metalhead.
Yeah, I'm specifically referring to, obviously, Snow Dogs here.
Yeah, I understand.
No, I for what I've listened to, because I've given them an honest chance, I like Nickelback too. Give me my Nickelback. I just realized that works that way too, not just like my baby back. Which actually, I just watched a Professor Rock video recently, I think day before yesterday, that was actually on the history of that song that it's took from, that then became that. And it's a song I've always liked, but I don't remember what the fuck it was for some reason. I forget stuff so quickly when it comes down to that kind of stuff. I have bad short-term memory, but I have great long-term memory. It's really bizarre. It doesn't make sense. Literally, it's like it disappears into like, you know how like there's some rivers which like they'll flow normally and then all of a sudden they disappear into the mantle of the earth.
Yeah.
And no, like even LiDAR can't figure out where the fuck it goes, and then all of a sudden it just pops up somewhere else, like 10 miles down the way.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much the perfect encapsulation and depiction of what my memory is like. My short-term memory is there, and then once it gets toward like just the slightest distance from first happening, it disappears into a pit into the earth, and it's just indefinitely gone, and nobody can figure out where it went. And then all of a sudden, like 6 months to a year later, and it just all those memories just resurface again, all over. And it's like, yeah, no, I've always remembered this. It's like, what? So like, I almost have no midterm memory at all. Like it almost like mine doesn't exist. It's kind of weird. Anyway, we're getting so sidetracked here. Because this is the longest-winded way to try to make a fucking point, and I'm doing my best to control myself to not keep going off of correlates, but it's not working at all right now. You haven't helped.
Okay, so
but okay, yeah, like I said, I want to try to figure it out though. I want to like research it a little bit and see the history of DC Comics, see where what characters are there, and then look at the trailers and some of the reviews and see like what's being mentioned, because there's always a chance that, again, like both sides are just being extreme as they always are, and it's probably somewhere in the middle, and it's like it's fine, aka neither side is right about this. Like it's not somehow like this huge wonderfully like go girls kind of thing either, and go trans people or whatever, but it's also not necessarily that either, right? The trans, I guess the go trans people would be more the woke that people think is woke, not necessarily, but because of the fact that supposedly it's predominantly because of the actress they took and cast for Supergirl. And this is why I keep making the emphasis and I keep saying Superwoman, because it's actually the character of Supergirl is actually Superwoman, but for some reason modern day they keep wanting to instead rebrand it to a different character called Supergirl. And in before a bunch of fucking nerds and geeks come in here and just enraged. letting it out on me like it's a different character, the Superwoman and the Supergirl. But then there's a lot of diehard DC Comics people who are like 60 plus, especially women, who are pointing out it is Superwoman. So fucking fine now. But anyway, I'm assuming Superwoman is rebranded Supergirl. It's modern psychology or something. But
yeah, it's freaking stupid, man. The fact is that you've got both people that are unhappy on both sides of the spectrum, and it's why
it's all stupid. Yeah, like
it is.
Nobody ever gives it the right opportunity or chance, and it's just anything that way. It's again the same with like all the trans obsessed people or all the TQ plus numbers, letters, and symbols.
Well,
people
no kidding.
In crowds, right? All the inclusivity obsessed and addicted people. These are the people who, with like J.K. Rowling, right? They now claim they've always despised Harry Potter, but you can clearly tell, including going. If you want to do what they do to everyone else all the time, that they want to dox and dunk on. You can go back through all their whole social media history, and they're diehard fucking fans of Harry Potter until she came out as a TERF, and then all of a sudden they're like, "I've always hated Harry Potter because I hate that wretched excuse of a life called J.K. Rowling," and it's like. You're literally lying to yourself and everyone else.
Literally lying. And to the populace.
You fucking love Harry Potter. You do. It's just that you don't like her. You don't like J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. But you love Harry Potter. You just don't like Harry. Separate the art from the fucking artists. I don't care what your opinion of the artist is. They could. Again, it's like you could. People should have been doing that since Adolf Hitler's days with Adolf Hitler. I mean, he's a great fucking painter. He's an incredible fucking artist. He's actually highly intelligent. He really understands how human minds work. At least give him credit where due and separate that and thus his art from
the person.
Because there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like you're saying that means you support everything that they do. No, obviously not. That proves you don't use your fucking brain and use a functioning brain cell to critically think at all. You're just like, well, no, that has to mean this then. And it's like, that's not how that works.
Dude. All right, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. We're gonna go down another tangent, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna let you do that. Starting me off.
I'm gonna get water. Go ahead.
This pisses me off. Okay. The fact is, man, I was watching another what was it called? A debate by what's the guy's name? I was watching a video by what's the guy's name? Andrew Wilson, right?
I thought it under the name Andrew. Yeah. This is actually kind of cool in a way too. Is whenever you bring out these different channels and creators or podcasts or whatever, you're like, you're showing that you really enjoy watching these things. And I'm sitting over here I just kind of shrug a lot of the time, right? Because I'm like, okay, because they're not the people I watch at all,
exactly,
or the type of content I like to consume. So it's actually really cool because again, it shows there is obviously, as much as we have similarities, we also have pretty clear differences,
Exactly.
Actually, the last episode we recorded, by the way, we had our biggest difference because it was the most intense debate that we've ever had to date. And he was fucking losing his mind.
I was.
And I was just losing my mind, laughing my ass off at him losing his mind. My response was just to start cackling like a fucking drunk hyena brain damage. The whole time. I was just loving it. Absolutely adoring it. I was having such a great time. It just proves I am such an asshole at my core. I'm such a fucking cat. I'm like, oh, this is great. And it wasn't even intentionally provoked either,
I guess, let's say her earning potential is $70,000 a year. My earning potential is $5 million a year. If she can alleviate.
All right, actually, you know what? I'm gonna skip a good majority.
Yeah, I feel like that lacks some context, actually. Good old-fashioned ads, baby.
I said earlier, if you're listening.
Well, let's start with the baggage, and then we'll move on to the awesome stuff. Let's start with the baggage.
Donated $100. Wilson, well said.
All right, thank you, negative 100. He wants
Let's
to
start with the baggage first.
Okay, my
That didn't
baggage
help at all.
personally.
Yeah.
Well, I have 3 kids,
Uh-huh.
I was in a marriage for 20 years,
Mhm.
and basically that's it. I'm
That's
single
it?
now.
Do you realize how monumental what you just said was, that you have 3 children and most of your life was taken by another man for 20 years? You can't give another man children? What are you bringing to the table, really?
I've never
I don't
dated a
understand
man
what he's saying
anyways that wants more children.
What is his point?
And second of all, I'm not looking for a man to marry. I would like to have a companion, and if I do find the right man.
All right, hang on. I'm actually going to scroll back a little bit.
This is why Andrew sounds frustrated. Men are often carrying weight that nobody stops to acknowledge.
And when asked, this is all you get. I bring love and affection. You don't bring to the table. And that's why you can't even answer the damn question, no matter how many times we ask it. And it makes me sick, because that is modernity.
Now, I'm going to preface this. I don't agree with his assessment there.
What Andrew's really getting at here goes way beyond gratitude. He's pointing to something deeper, asymmetric sacrifice. And it's actually pretty simple. When someone doesn't see the work, the stress, the responsibility, or the cost it takes to provide stability, they start assuming it's normal, easy, expected. Not because they're intentionally ungrateful, but because they never take the time to actually think about what it takes to make all of this possible. That's why expectations start inflating. More is assumed, more is demanded, and the effort behind it all just disappears into the background. This is why Andrew sounds frustrated. Men are often carrying weight that nobody stops to acknowledge, and when that effort is ignored long enough, resentment builds, respect erodes. Not overnight, slowly. And this isn't even a gender-specific flaw. It's human nature. Entitlement doesn't show up all at once. It grows quietly when people stop paying attention to the cost someone else is bearing. And once that cost is invisible, or worse, ignored, the entire balance of the relationship starts to break down.
Yeah, that's. This is also why, again, with any relationship, obviously, it's about communication. That's like the single most important thing is you gotta fucking communicate.
But
and be honest.
I think that basically, in and of itself, I mean, it in societal terms, in and of itself, in societal terms, there women expect that sort of asymmetrical sacrifice,
right? But technically, I would argue the same thing, that it's the same the other way around. It's just different things, like what Andrew Wilson was just saying before you skip back to that point, right? Which is that he's literally saying is like, oh yeah, basically, like a lot of guys say, is that your responsibility is to, you know, not just nurture that guy, but to also create kids with him and then nurture those kids and bring them up. But that shows that same asymmetric sacrifice the opposite direction, because they're expecting that too. And so, like, the main point I wanted to make to all of that, everything that was said, is that, like, there's the real foundational taproot of that problem
is
its source is not even that, actually.
Well,
what it is this expectation itself. You're not supposed to expect anything out of somebody you love. That's the problem. When you start expecting it, then it becomes transactional.
Well, dude, in that sense, there I will agree. But unfortunately, in a society today, there's an expectation.
Oh, most people are that way. Yeah,
most people are that way, and that's freaking stupid.
It is, because again, when, like I was just saying there, right? It's like when you start having expectations like that of each other, and like what you're going to do for each other, what you're gonna, you know, what you expect in life from each other, you know, basically work, right? Is that of different kinds. What that is that makes it about transactions. It's transaction. It's basically business at that point.
Yeah, it's not business.
It's no longer a relationship. It has nothing to do with love or bonds or anything or caring about each other. It's about what can you do for me, and then that's it. Because then the other side is going to be like, and what can you do for me? Because they're both expecting transactionally, like it's a business or a trade, right?
Exactly.
Or like, what are you going to do for me? That's the arrogance as well, right? That's the entitlement. Because you have expectations of these things. It kind of actually, that can still also play into like just being a good community member and neighbor, right?
Yeah.
Because most people, if they're going to help you out in your
Yeah.
community or or they're a neighbor of yours, and they're going to help you out with something, well, it's helping you move or whatever else, they're going to expect most of the time you to give them some sort of transaction, so payment for it.
Well,
Whereas a person who understands how the shit works and they actually do care and they actually have some compassion and understanding, they don't even think about they don't think about it with any
They
transaction.
just do it.
They just do it because they just genuinely want to help.
exactly.
They're just being a good person. They're not trying to say, well, I'm hoping this will get me a free dinner, or some weird stupid bullshit, or it gets me paid. It's like, no, like there's nothing. And I want to make note though on that topic. There's nothing wrong with accepting if they decide they want to pay you, in some way, whatever that is. It can be taking you out to dinner. It can be buying you a pizza delivery. It could be, paying for your gas. It could be, again, like paying, just straight up giving you cash or something, right?
Well,
Like
even
whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with accepting it, but also at the same time, you don't. Before that even happens, it shouldn't even be a thought that enters your fucking mind that, oh, I hope to get something out of this. It's like, then you're not helping because you actually want to help, because it's not out of the goodness of your heart.
exactly.
Okay, it's not because you're a good person or you're doing goodwill. It's because you just want something out of it.
Exactly.
And it's super transactional. It's like it's a fucking corporate business or some shit again, and it's just super stupid. So, but that's the society we live in these days.
Right. Well, hang on here.
Of course it does. But the problem is, in modern dating, that's often treated as if it's this rare premium contribution, when in reality, it's something almost anyone can offer.
Oh, this isn't
What
the
a
one.
Friendship,
This isn't the
conversation,
one that I was
emotional
going to
support.
bring up.
Those are baseline
Dang
traits,
nabbit.
not distinguishing.
Also, that doesn't have the context in it again.
Yeah. Well, no shit.
Like, okay, what is the that he's talking about in the dating? Like,
No kidding.
I'm sorry, you didn't get far enough ahead, I guess, though, to get the context. I did rant about modern dating, also, by the way, and like the way people see relationships these days, to no end as well.
Yeah.
Because, unfortunately, these days, I would have to call myself old school,
Yeah.
or to say it's old school, even though it's literally not even like 15 plus years ago. This was standard, the old school thing and mentality I have with relationships. So it's just taking the basis of it is taking your fucking time. You know what I mean? Like taking your time, get to know each other, like really properly, build a friendship, and slowly build from there, so on and so
Maybe,
forth.
Andrew, you can speak to like the actual, I guess,
Okay.
just going to grant that, like maybe women would be the best.
So to set the record here, basically, he's making a description of certain societies where there were certain ones who have no women in any sort of leadership position, none whatsoever. I mean, great example. What were they called? The countries over in the Middle East.
Yeah.
The countries over there in the Middle East, they don't have women in leadership positions at all.
Iran might actually be somewhat of an exception.
Okay.
Over the last few years, or few decades.
Few decades, yeah.
Because it would have been the democratically elected leader that, of course, the U.S. had to go and
Mamdani.
depose of.
Mamdani.
Not Mamdani. He's the fucking mayor.
Oh my
of New
gosh!
York.
Oh my gosh!
The
Oh.
mayor of New York. Muga, was it Muga Hadesh or something like that? Something like that. Yeah, I can't exactly remember what it is.
The new guy, essentially.
No, I'm not. Literally said for like the last handful of decades in Iran, because it was the democratically elected leader that we, of course, in the U.S. overthrew.
Okay.
Again, because of fucking course they had to do that. You know why? He was trying to actually kick out the U.S. monopolies on their oil resources, and oh boy, you have to die now. As usual for fucking United States bullshit. It's always the same every time. It just depends on how they brand it to people and pitch it, right?
Bestest rulers ever. Let's say they occupied 90% of government, they'd be way better than men. My descriptor, though, is just that if
No,
all women were relegated
You
to
heard that. Descriptor. This is not what an ought claim.
Yeah, he's
Last
describing it.
I don't see why society wouldn't function fine.
I mean, I just disagree with you, just on the grounds of
I still feel like
you
I'm
can't
lacking
have
context.
one,
What is he specifically
Shout
referring
out.
to right now?
like one type of person be.
Because we didn't even get to hear that.
Entire argument. What's wild, though, what's actually wild, is how predictable it is now. You can't even challenge feminist dogma without it being taken as a personal attack. It's not reason anymore, it's reflex. And
Both
that
sides
reflex,
have
right
a
there
lot
on
of
the camera,
issues with feminism,
proves this
unfortunately, in
point
terms
for
of like the way that they
Women
see it.
only exist to do that. I'm telling you descriptively. I want you to answer to the descriptor
Well, can
with a
you not
counter
answer?
descriptor. I think it is true, not ought to be, but is true. That I just want the counter descriptor. So
Sorry, is this
I'm
just
saying
about
it's
feminism in general?
This is just about feminism in general.
Oh, okay, so that's the context. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
this
that's way
is
too
just
long.
feminism in general. That's all it's about.
So, from my view, it is correct, descriptively true, that if all women were made into second-class citizens tomorrow, they had no real rights, they were not allowed in government positions of any kind, nor leadership positions, that society would be just fine. There would not be any, like, I can't really even envision, I just really can't even really envision any problems, honestly. So,
It would be in a natural imbalance at that point, though.
Well,
so,
yes,
yeah, there would be a lot of problems.
Okay, but dude, still, nevertheless, he's not making a moral claim here. He's not making a moral claim. He's only making a description, essentially. The description aspect is that if it were to occur, the United States would function as well as
He said the world. He didn't say U.S., if I
Okay.
recall correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The world itself
Or
would
society. I think he said society, sorry.
yeah, the world would function just as regular as those other Islamic nations, which function fine.
That's really debatable.
What?
That's so debatable. Actually, I would argue it's blatantly not true. Like, most of the Middle East is completely been fucked up since their inception as countries that we know, exactly because of the meddling of fucking colonial nations that drew their borders up arbitrarily and then pit them against each other. Because
But why is that?
perpetual instability.
It's war, though.
Yeah, because the countries that formed those borders wanted perpetual wars, basically.
Well,
so that they always had an excuse to keep their military there, so they always had an excuse to then be able to go and dictate and control all of their resources.
but it has nothing to
So-
do with the issue per se with who's in charge.
Yeah, but that would still argue the point that, in other words, you can't say anything about that at that point because it has
Sure.
nothing to do with it, then, does it?
But still, nevertheless.
So in other words, you don't have a proper example because they were already set up to fail in the first place. Much like most of Africa was too. Actually.
Okay, fair enough.
So, and actually the Balkans and the Indian subcontinent.
Oh.
So typical. It's so true though. Like, I hate that it's true, but it is. You know, it's like we talked about actually last episode, I think, didn't we? Oh, at least I know we talked about it properly in what is it, Pete's Coffee?
Yeah,
I think it was up there, and then we wanted to talk about it in the episode. I can't remember if I properly described it as I did in Pete's Coffee in that episode, this last episode we have. But I always, every time I think about that, it immediately makes me again think of that history and be like, again, it's just all they have to do is they have to make random arbitrary borders, pose the idea to split these countries up, these people that had always lived together in harmony and intermarried, had families and everything else perfectly peacefully. Everybody was great because they're all related now too, you know. And then they do that, and then they give them this random piece of an idea that's intentionally made to pit them
I'll
against each
grant
other.
that. I'll grant it. But still,
I'm not
I'll grant it, man. Seriously, that's a concede, okay? That's a concede.
Right, but the problem is you're conceding on something that I think you think is being spoken of, or I'm like making a point against something that you're saying, and I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just saying in general. I'm talking about this topic now, rather than whatever whatever podcast thing there was talking about. I'm sidetracking as usual.
Okay.
Because correlation, right? I'm like,
Yes.
but this topic's more interesting to my brain. My brain takes off and runs with
all right.
it.
But
It's like fucking showing me candy corn and not expecting me to fucking eat the entire fucking sack in one go. It's like
how dare you eat candy corn?
That's how you can. That's one of the many ways you could absolutely fucking entrap me, make me a fucking instrument of torture in your basement. It's just.
I'm gonna get you the candy corn.
Bait me out with bait me into your basement and torture chamber with candy corn and free candy corn and marshmallows and fucking kittens and mice and all probably.
Squirrels. Squirrels.
Yeah, true. I thought it was just saying rodents, but I'm like.
You just said mice.
I know. I thought about saying rodents and I said mice. Weebles. Squeebles. A lot of different kinds of rats. Dude, rodents are so fucking cute. But see, now you're fucking drop kicking my attention span to a different topic again. So stupid. What? I feel like my brain's a little slower right now, also because I haven't eaten today. But
no, I punted your attention span like a freaking football.
Yeah. Once again, we find ourselves back at the Buster Keaton reference I always make of like the attention span of the topic that we're talking about is the proverbial train that went off the rails into the canyon and everyone's dead.
Okay. Well, basically, the fact is that
we're all dead.
No. Well, let's get back to the topic at hand.
Yeah.
The fact is, the reasoning why I get ticked at that stuff is because
you're referring to the feminism stuff. Again.
Yes. Well, the fact is, people get intentionally obtuse.
Or they almost see conflict out of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Because then it gives them this sense of superiority complex.
Correct.
Because that's how much they believe in their own view or whatever.
Well, dude, even one of the comments on here
that's why
he was supposedly backing the what was it called? Taliban Party 2026. What the heck? He didn't even say that.
That's insane. Yeah.
That's stupid.
That's
man.
a wild extrapolation. That is 100% the shit that I get though, especially on places.
What the heck, man?
Places like Threads. I got that last night by a fuck ton of people on various things, including the feminism topic. Actually, technically via the Supergirl movie.
Dude.
And I'm just like, dude, like I didn't even fucking say that the author said in this passage because I was mainly responding to on that Threads post wasn't even the original ops posts, right? About the movie. It was about this response that somebody gave, which was a screenshot of an entire page worth of a quote from this book. It was supposedly on feminism and the society and men and whatever it was. It was literally broadly about men. And they think they're dunking on my ass because of the fact that, they extrapolate and take all the shit out of context that I wrote.
Exactly.
And they say, you're clearly suggesting this or saying that it said this. And I literally didn't fucking say that. I literally simply explained it to one of them. I'm like, did I say or suggest at any point that the author in that screenshot said all? Well, no. Did I use, however, in my response to it, the word all? Yes.
No, man, I'll tell you this one. Okay, this really ticks me off obvious, as a linguist.
Here's the thing. It's obvious, basic common sense context is what it is. It's syntax. Hello?
Syntax!
Is English often very fucking confusing and contradictory?
No!
Yes. No, it is.
Well, obviously. Yeah. Dude, well, man, the fact is that it pisses me off to no end.
I love how that was a perfect case in point of English contradicting itself. He's like, no, yes, obviously. Because see, there's multiple different fucking meanings and context to that one sentence because English is fucking stupid. However, there's certain instances like what I wrote there, which was actually blatantly fucking obvious, contextually. And I'm like,
man.
It's called. I'm pointing out the vast generalization and throwing in the barrel of most men. And they're like, actually, they did use an enumeration term to describe the amount of men.
No, man.
They
no,
said
dude.
the author said most. Okay, good for you. Most. You know what that is? It's still a vast generalization because it's it's entirely subjective.
Well,
No,
still,
at that
even
point, because it's
nevertheless,
ambiguous.
Al,
Like,
well, still, nevertheless, man, this is what ticks me off to no end. This is basic grammar. Subject, verb, modifiers. Modifiers have to do with your freaking subject.
yeah.
Durr!
Yeah. I will also admit that is a form of very American style gaslighting, especially on the internet too, is they will intentionally weaponize that exact type of syntax to be able to actively say, no, I didn't say that. I didn't suggest that at all at any point. But it's very clear contextually, especially with their history, the person, right, that they do actually believe that, and that is what they're saying. And then they'll gaslight into saying, I never said it, because they technically didn't. And it's like, well, fuck you off a fucking cliff and die in a Warner Brothers style 60s fat of smoke and flame. God damn it. Wile E. Coyote yourself, why don't you? You know? That's a good one. Wile E. Coyote yourself, why don't you? Instead of the stupid fucking like what is it? What do they call it again? Or what is the term again for when people kill themselves? What is it again? That everyone wants to use these days because they might get demonetized.
Unalive themselves.
Unalive. It's like an infinitely better version of that because it's doing the same thing that the people are doing when they say that, right? But it's like way better. It also gives you a way more vivid picture that's actually a lot more fun. Whereas, and it's even more indirect and subtle. Whereas, you know, because it's also ambiguous. So actually, yeah, Wile E. Coyote yourself. That's actually a great fucking use of term there.
Dude, that is awesome, man.
Like
that is awesome.
I didn't even realize that was just, again, my brain just shat that out in live time. It wasn't even a thought process that in my head. It just came out. And I'm like, there it is again. Another great idea right there.
Yeah.
It's like, remember the windbag? Or you came up with the windbag one, though.
Yeah, you windbag.
Windbag! Yeah. But no, and I think we did talk about feminism in one of our episodes. Again, that I don't think has been released yet. It might have been, but I don't think so. It was one of the most recent episodes we recorded, though. I know that. Where we talked about feminism because you're like, oh, that's actually a good topic to talk about because I talked about it with you off and on before.
Yes.
Right? Because what is feminism? It's literally simply defined one way, which is that it's the equality between men and women, right?
Correct.
So in other words, women have all. It's people who advocate for women to have all equal rights, opportunities, pay, gender representation but that makes no sense. Representation, that's redundant as fuck. So on and so forth, right? That's all it means. That's it. It's that simple.
All it means.
So by that nature, I am 100% and always have been a true feminist.
Same here.
But you now have the third wave feminists,
Correct.
aka the supposed feminists that are clearly not feminists. They're feminazis, aka they're misandrists, aka they're highly sexist, and they're very matriarchal, aka
Correct.
The exact same thing as patriarchy. It just so happens that instead it's women dominated instead of male dominated. AKA,
Correct.
there's no discernible difference.
There's no discernible difference.
But okay, so they get superiority instead of us. Okay, great. AKA not feminism. Whoa, who would have thunk it? It's almost like the long-standing definition has always been right fucking there in front of your fucking face. No, you have to deny its reality and deny that it's their true definition or it's accepted as such one now because, you're the squeakiest wheel getting the bitchy ass grease because you keep bitching nonstop and social media and mainstream media, of course, are going to emphasize your stupid squeaky ass bitching that, moaning, lying, screaming, hooting, hollering, fucking
going nuts.
I swear to God, like every single descriptive term of being as loud as possible and never shutting up. They're like fucking Satan's rubber chickens. I swear to God, like
Beat you to death with a rubber chicken.
and ironically, they themselves are the rubber chickens with a bullhorn, with an amp, you know, with everything else on top of it at full fucking blast and turbo boosted that audio. So yeah, unlocking the fucking like audio, you know, leveling. It's fucking stupid, and it's like there's a reason now why there's so many women, especially people, you know, women that are like 60 plus and moms and everything else who were always proudly to call themselves feminists and always talk about feminism, and now they disavowed it for years. Feminism. Why? Because they don't want to be associated with feminazis. Who would have thunk it? Because unfortunately, mainstream media and social media has made it so that the squeaky wheels, the feminazis, the little fema bitches, went out here, and now everyone thinks that's what represents feminism. It isn't. It's literally the exact antithesis of what feminism is even about. And it's completely hijacked. It's completely corrupted and bastardized. Correct. And twisted and contorted like a heap of fucking scrap metal into doing their own bidding for what they want. Just basically because they want all the attention because they're attention whores, and they're angry and they just want to be angry about stuff and offended. You know, it's just like, this is fucking stupid. Like, you're literally hurting the entire fucking cause, and you're pushing real feminists out from being willing to even say feminism now. So, you know, that's a huge problem, of course. Let me plug it in. There we go. Sorry, my battery got to 20% on my Chromebook here, so. Low battery saver's on. No, you turn the fuck off, Butter. Butter?
Butter?
Butter? Why did I call it butter? It's a mix of two different words. I know that. It's buddy and... What were the other one? Butter and... Maybe butter and fucker? Butterfucker becomes butter? Oh, no, sorry, not butterfucker. It's not even right either. Good God. We're falling apart.
Apparently. We're falling apart.
Good Lord above. Okay. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, so yeah, like, you know, and so that's what real feminism represents, obviously, is simply the equality of genders. And so that's a great thing, you know. And that actually is funny because, right, you can go back to the J.K. Rowling thing, right, and Harry Potter, because you have, you know, the world's most well-known, quote-unquote, TERF is J.K. Rowling now. And that means that anybody like myself or any actual true feminists are, by designation now, officially the pejorative, right? The derogatory pejorative of TERF, which is an acronym that the trans crowd came up with, which is Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists. Which itself is fucking, like, tattling on itself. You know what I mean? It's like, in other words, no common sense is used in this term. Like, if you're a radical feminist, but you're trans exclusionary, you're literally directly acknowledging that they're still feminists and that they represent feminism, while also trying to say that they can't represent feminism exactly because they don't include trans people, which literally can only, in other words, the people who acknowledge real science, aka biology, that says you can only be male or female. There's only binary. Because that's biological facts. But, you know, okay. Like, what? You know, it's so stupid. God forbid you want to keep weird, creepy-ass fucking predatory men out of women's locker rooms and gymnasiums and everything else. Like, what the fuck, dude? I will never get over how fucking wildly brain dead people are that think that you can be somebody or not. You know, like, and like I've expressed before, right? It's very personal to me, especially considering, again, I have been through the mental health system, especially as a child. I've been through the ringer with that, not just with myself, but with my eldest brother, Nathan, and with a bunch of my cousins, because there's a lot, especially my mom's branch of the family, there's a lot of mental health, severe mental illness genetically. And most of it is schizophrenia, bipolar mania, or it's schizophrenia with bipolar, aka schizoaffective disorder. And I was diagnosed with that. We now know incorrectly, but I was diagnosed with that as a child because I did have hallucinations. And it wasn't conceivable that it could have been autism, and that it was my brain's way of trying to expulse all this excess, you know, overwhelming energy and like stimuli that literally my brain and my body had nothing to get outlet it with. So what else does it do than to, especially also never feeling safe when I was a child, which I didn't realize until I was an adult piece of therapy, that I literally was never safe. At least my brain and my body never felt safe. That like, you know what I mean? Like that.
Of
What do you
course.
do with that too, right? So now you also aren't safe enough to have an outlet. So of course, you know, your brain starts inventing shit because it's literally basically frying itself. Its circuits are frying,
dude,
you know,
I mean,
or faulting out.
that
But
whole ordeal.
The point is, right, is that, again, schizophrenia, right? You deal with that kind of stuff. You go through those medications, you go through those diagnoses, you go through all the processes, right?
Yeah.
When you go through that and you live that both firsthand and secondhand, nonstop in your life, you find out really quickly that you will have a position exactly as mine is on the trans stuff, and you will actually be almost... It's hard to describe the negative feeling you have. It's like you're disappointed, you're a little distressed, you're a little bit scared, or like, you know, disgusted, obviously, by it. You're also a little bit like kind of angry about it, because it's like there's no discernible difference. I actually said this on Twitter recently. I'm like, unless you experience life like I have, right? And you were born into this, you've had mental illnesses, your family has a lot of it, specifically schizophrenia, and you deal with that. You also have the religious side of the experience, especially Christianity, like I did, right? And then you also have the trans stuff now, right? You will only fully grasp and understand where I'm coming from with it and why I'm so against the trans stuff exactly when you have experienced all three of these things in your life. Because, especially, again, the mental health field, right? And the schizophrenia. Because it proves to you that there is no discernible difference between the schizophrenic having an episode and hallucinating, the religious person who believes in a God, which that's exactly what last episode we recorded. That's where the fucking biggest blow up from him and me cackling my ass off came from. I can't wait to get that episode out there, because it's like the most heated debate we've ever had. And instead of me actually debating, he's just going off, losing his mind, getting purple in the face, just busting aneurysms off in his forehead while ranting and raging, and I'm over here just cackling my fucking ass off the entire time. The more upset he gets, the more I'm cackling. It's such a funny thing. It wasn't even a thought. It wasn't even provoked intentionally. It just naturally flowed that way. It was so fucking... That makes it funnier to me, though, because it wasn't even my intention, but then it's like, it's so satisfying.
Cat.
So
I'm gonna brush it over the edge.
No, literally, I use that analogy at the end of the episode, too. I'm like, I'm literally like a fucking cat who's literally staring you with that death stare in your eye of just the lack of fucks to give. He's like, what are you going to do about it kind of stare? You know, as you gently maintain eye contact, as you gently shove the fucking vase off the table or off the counter and just shatters. And then you're just like, that's right.
That's right.
You're not going to be shit. And yes, I am proud of myself. So great. But that, and then obviously also, again, if you believe you're not the gender you were born in, you are no different, discernibly, from that of the schizophrenic having an episode. And you really will be able, I guess that also proves it too, the last episode recorded in that aspect of the God aspect, because it literally proved that point, right? That you have to experience all three of the things at once growing up to really truly understand and come from my perspective on that one. Because again, like, and it hurts my soul. It's actually like a lot of hurt. That's the word I was looking for. There's a lot of hurt I have in my heart, my body, and my soul, my gut, because, like, you know, you wouldn't treat or allow or encourage the schizophrenia, right, and the delusions of your loved one, your family member, your friend, or whatever, right? You wouldn't treat it like they do with trans people. You wouldn't be like, this is normal, this is okay, and you know what? You really feel and believe that you have these friends that for us don't exist. That's okay. They're obviously very real. Then, you know, they're real to you, and that's great. So, you know, we're not going to medicate you. We're not going to care about it. We're just going to instead encourage that behavior, right? Like, encourage your schizophrenia. That's the same as if you're like, oh, let's give gender affirming care to these kids or these adults that think that they're not male when they're literally male, or, you know, vice versa. They think that they're, you know, think that they're female and they're clearly, or I guess it would be the reverse, right? See, I'm dyslexic. If they think that they're adamant that they're a male when they're clearly a female, and then that's vice versa, yeah. There's no difference there. Like, you're literally telling these people, via gender affirming care and everything else, getting the surgeries, that like you're not schizophrenic, you don't have a mental health issue, you're not having a mental health crisis or identity crisis. You are as you believe you to be. Therefore, and this is why the whole peg leg argument and other things like that, right? They come out of the woodwork with most people who argue against it because they're like, okay, if that's true, then thank God, like then at that point, shouldn't my parents affirmed my identity as a pirate when I was a child and cut my fucking leg off and put a peg on it? Like, and it's true. It's just common sense rationale at that point is what they're using, and it's like this is the point we're making, right? It's like that there is no discernible difference there. Like you're choosing to lie and keep up the lie and the fraud that the brain is causing that person. It's no discernible difference between the trans person, therefore, and the schizophrenic person. They're both living in this psychosis, basically, because they're both mental health crises. Just one is literally the traditional mental health crisis, and then you have the other one, which is a non-traditional mental health crisis, which is an identity crisis. But their chromosomes clearly prove, and their body parts and everything else clearly prove, yes, you are a fucking dude, or yes, you are a fucking woman, not the gender you think you are. And it's literally not possible to be that. So let's help you try to figure out the source of why you're having this identity crisis, and thus help you walk it back through that history to where that start point is, the cause, and then help walk you back forward through it again, so that way you're no longer have an identity crisis. You're now stable again. You're sane. You're not suffering through paranoia or whatever, you know what I mean, or confusion or whatever else. Like your dysphoria, as they call it now. So yeah, it's like there's no discernible difference between the three, and that's why like I always think whenever I think about the trans stuff, and that's feminism actually. I always think about my history, my family's history, and going through all the schizophrenic treatments and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And how they talk to you and talk down to you when they diagnose you with anything with schizophrenic symptoms in it. And it's just like, if that's true, then it's true for the same people who believe in a God figure. And it's the same true for somebody who believes that they are the opposite gender that they actually are biologically. But like I said, right, and I'll repeat it again because it bears repeating, is that like I genuinely believe it's only going to be truly able to be grasped or understood and seen that way if you experience all three collectively like that. Otherwise, you're just going to probably explosively or otherwise just be like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. That's fucking bullshit. Or like you're just prejudiced, whether it's you or the people who are pro-trans or whatever, So, because that's two different sides of the fence, right? It's the religious side. It's the religious grouping who believe in a God and figure, and then there's also the side who believes that they can be whatever the fuck they want to think they are. I identify as a pool floaty. Pink. But trans. A trans flag pool floaty, pee floaty. Yeah. I like how we had finally a viewer for a good amount of time there.
Yeah.
But then once I got into the explanation between the three of those, lost them. So I feel like if they stuck through everything else, the odds are that person left because of specifically the same reason that you got mad at me in that episode that we last recorded, which is the God count comparison.
Correct.
And it's like, well, fuck you guys. I don't fucking care because I'm right and you're wrong, and that's not arrogance. It's compassion and understanding. It's also a fact. So.
Yeah, and I'm not starting to fight. Well,
Fight! I'm kidding.
No, well,
no, I hate I hate confrontation so fucking much. It overwhelms my nervous system so bad.
No, but basically, me being the theist over here.
And me being the atheist, yes. It's another great way, though, to prove that as much as we have in common, and as much as we can often agree with each other,
Exactly.
and have a similar interests, it doesn't mean that we are always there.
Exactly.
We stand opposite on a handful of things. So.
Exactly.
Which is totally fine. And yeah, actually, it's funny because that's something else that somebody mentioned to me last night when I was because I replied to something that was about climate change. I was claiming that it's been proven that apparently Pakistanis their teeth are dissolving because of the climate changes and global warming's impacts on their water, I think, and like thus their saliva becomes super acidic and it dissolves their teeth. And so it's climate change caused teeth dissolution. And I'm like, I'm just super sarcastic about it. I'm like, oh yes, fresh fear-mongering propaganda that Henry Kissinger and all the other propagandists who are just like getting off of them beyond the grave about, because they'd be so proud of it. And of course, I end up getting fucking nothing but negative replies talking about how much of a fucking idiot I am, or whatever else, and assuming that means I'm saying I don't believe in climate change. And then this person finally, I'm like, read back what I said and tell me where I supposedly said or even suggested that I don't believe in climate change. And of course, they give me back a response, and they're like, "It's like, what did you expect me to fucking assume, Goofy?" And I'm like, I literally just then at that point almost academically just fucking broke it down for them and explained it. And I'm like, so step by step without saying step by step, right? I broke it down. And I'm like, so what would that? This is what this would suggest, except it could also suggest this. Now, if we go with the latter one, then this suggests that maybe, just maybe, I'm suggesting that I don't buy or I don't believe in the fear-mongering aspect, which is saying that, oh, it's record climate change, or oh, the world is burning aspects. That, or the teeth dissolving because of climate change. It might be some of those things. And I said, that's literally what it is. It's very clearly indicating this is what I'm saying is the fear-mongering.
Exactly.
Like, duh. Again, like we said earlier, right? It's basic common sense, syntax, context. It's
exactly.
It's just that they want to see what they want to see in it is really what it is.
Exactly.
So they've already made up their mind before they even see a response that they're going to get mad at. Basically.
Exactly.
It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. I can't remember my point for mentioning that, but yeah, I get that kind of thing on the shit all the time. Especially in places like Threads, but it's like also predictable. You get on Threads and you just absolutely lashed and you become nothing but holes that they'd rip in you if you were on Blue Sky. So yeah, that's why I'll never be on Blue Sky, because if I'm going to choose the crowds that I feel have the most delusional, I'm going to always choose the center right leaning, which is Twitter. That's my cesspool cancer choice and the shitposting platform capital. And I'm proud of it. And I've been there ever since March 2010, and it launched in late 2008, I think. So I've been there pretty much since the start of Twitter. And also, I've actually been on Threads since it launched. So I have like the perfect lived experience comparison between the two platforms and this Blue Sky. And I'm like, trust me, this is the way this is. Yeah. You want to obviously end the episode.
I do, yes.
Oh, come on, it's 4:00. You deserve to have it ended at like 4:49 so that you have no time to be able to get to your classes you're going to teach in time. No, we need to do that. Because fuck you in particular. Yeah, I think I need water in tonight. Oh, no, I don't. Actually. All right, well, fine. I guess we'll end it. Piece of shit. You fucking asinine whore.
Take back.
Just start fucking doing the Tourette scene from What About Bob?
Exactly.
Son of a bitch! Whore! Bastard! Motherfucker! It's just jumping on the bed. It's so stupid. I love that movie. It's a great movie.
It was a great movie.
Anyway, it's so dumb though. It's such a pointless movie, but it's so good.
It is.
Death Therapy, Bob. All right. Thank you so much for watching this live episode, for the one person who did for about 20-30 minutes.
Exactly.
And thank you for watching this episode if you're watching the VOD later. We greatly appreciate it. I'm going to, as soon as possible, obviously, pin the VOD of this live stream up on the main page, as I do with the normal episodes when we release them. I will obviously be keeping everything unedited in this episode, but I will also be doing the timestamps as soon as possible, meaning that I will clearly indicate what the first portion, which is like the first 20 minutes is, roughly, of this episode, so that you guys have the preface, or the important context, is probably what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
Right? Important context for future episodes. It's probably the best name I can give that, because it also has to be a certain length, and that's pretty short. So I think I'm going to call it that. And that way you know, like, that. And if you want to skip it, because it's not the obviously content. Oh, those are the new sunglasses, I just realized. Yeah. I'm trying to think of who that reminds me of. Who does that make me think of? I'm trying to think. Like, half of me says racing, half of me says, like, it's a fucking chef. I think it might actually be Guy Fieri. Doesn't he have sunglasses like that? I think he does.
I think he does.
Yeah. I think that's who it's reminding me of, bro. He's the fucking Guy Fieri of the Scottish Bill over here. Dude, I would love to be in Guy Fieri's position, by the way, as a recently come out of the closet foodie. Like, dude. Oh, I get so fucking obese, though. I'd be like twice the size you are, you know, and you're like twice my size right now. So it's like, that's fucking, like, think about how I'd be like that 400, 500 plus pound, like, gorilla of a human at that point, like a literal sack of fat and blubber. I'd look like what if I was living back in the 1800s when the first colonists and tribes were out there and I was in the ocean, they'd mistake me for a whale or fucking harpoon me or put me in lanterns for oil. But it's like, oh, it was a human. Well, okay. But anyway, the plight of being a guy for you. A fairly slow metabolism, it would turn out. Anyway, sidetrack. Yeah, so I'll put that up there in the timestamps that way, entitled in a specific manner, so you can decide if you want to get that context or if you don't fucking give a shit. Exactly. And then you can just skip past that. And then I'll do it the normal timestamp titling anyway, as I always do. Because the rest of the episode is the full episode. So, and we just hit 2 hours. So basically, that's about an hour and 40-minute episode, which is pretty standard for us. Edited, that is. So if I were to edit this and we recorded this standard-wise, if I didn't have my Linux issues, genuinely this episode might be the one the shortest, not the shortest we've ever done. Ironically, which is actually kind of interesting. It'd be somewhere around 130 seconds. What? 1 hour and 30 minutes. Yikes. Close enough. Got the numbers right. 1 hour and 30 minutes. To somewhere under that. Probably
130 seconds.
Yeah, 130 second episode, man. Woof! That's the longest one we've ever done.
Yeah.
God damn. A lot of context and important discussions in that topic, yeah. So this is the best part about the way we work and our brains work, is that it still works out, even when we're struggling for a handful of minutes to think of something. It just takes one thing that might seem insignificant for us to mention or say, and then all of a sudden our brains are off to the races and we have topics we're talking about.
Exactly.
This is why we call it off the cuff too, because this is literally off the cuff. Everything we do, pretty much. Well, most of the episodes we do. Obviously, sometimes we do have topics we want to talk about, so we'll start with those. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. Again, once again, thank you so much for watching. I apologize about the quality. Like I said, you could actually artificially inflate the subscriber numbers on our channel if you really wanted to help out. The quickest and easiest and free way of doing it. To get us to 50 subscribers, so you don't have to deal with this crappy pinhole bullshit right here on my Chromebook. Instead, we can do it on this beautiful camera right here on the phone. And then we can actually use this just for the chat, actually, live chat, for if and when we ever get actual viewers. Anyway, I know part of this also why we didn't really get any viewers is because my tags were bad, but like, I didn't know what we didn't know what we're going to talk about, so it's kind of hard to fucking put any topics in the tags.
Exactly.
So the views we're going to get here are going to be once it's up as a VOD, and I redo the tags to fit what we spoke about. So
yeah.
Oh, I should mention this because I didn't yet. It should be pretty obvious if you saw and watched and listened to that first. It's not charging. I plugged it in. It should be charging. What the fuck? Okay, that's bullshit. Anyway, well, we're ending it anyway. So just really quick, I wanted to mention that obviously it should have been obvious if you watch or listen to that first 20 minutes or so of the important context of future content or future episodes here on the channel, is that this also means I will not be able to edit and output any clips for a while on the Clips channel. And I will admit, it is half my own damn fault for being kind of lazy and choosing to prioritize playing Stardew Valley most of the time than actually editing and outputting new clips from episode 2, and thus I think 4 and 5 are the other remaining episodes I need to do that for. Or actually, no, I guess it would be 4, 6, and 7, I think, are the ones.
Yeah.
The other ones, yeah. That's how far behind I am on that. Playing Stardew Valley and my lack of impulse control when it comes into playing that game, which I can't play anyway now because I have one problem. So now I can't do anything, basically. I can't even edit for a while. So it's going to be a while there. Damn myself in that department. And yeah, so you can't expect clips to come out for a while now, unfortunately. And it does suck because it does help traffic to our channel, the actual episodes here. But, you know, you got to adapt in live time. You got to jerry-rig things if you can, so on and so forth. So that context out of the way as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your understanding. And all the more reason to share the episodes, share the channel with anybody when you actually are a subscriber or you actually really do get value or enjoy our episodes. Because that's going to help us get to 50 a lot quicker, and it's going to help solve that problem sooner rather than having to wait for God knows how many months, potentially. God, genuinely, I think it's going to be months before I actually can fix all my Linux issues because of how slow I am and everything and how much I hate those kind of things. So I'm not much slower. But yeah, anyway, that's that, though. So yeah, thank you so much once again for watching the episode. We appreciate your support and your understanding. And until next time, subscribe, or giant sentient dildo will come and ram itself into your dreams. Okay, bye-bye. Let's end this thing before it gets more catastrophically wrong. Oh, no. A sentient dildo.